to another episode of Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford.
What's up with it? Chill.
Leaving me hanging.
My dog.
There we go. Coming up on the show, we will talk to Caruso.
That's crazy. I didn't know
and I want to know what your handshake is with him.
Yeah, I didn't know we had a handshake. It was normal before. It's fine though. We got it.
Moving on.
Gotcha.
Friendly reminder for all of our fans there watching. If you're watching for the first time, please subscribe, rate, and review. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. If you follow this guy, you should be able to find us.
Read, rate, subscribe, review.
Yes.
There you go.
Let's talk about how the Lakers have started the season, Danny. Well, more than started the season now. At least at this moment in time, you guys are 21-3. Overall, a great start to the first quarter or so, first third of the season. How would you evaluate how the team has done, and has it met or exceeded your expectations?
I think it's exceeded. And the fact that I didn't expect us to grow or be this well, like organized, or chemistry be this great as it is right now. I think it has a lot to do with off the court stuff and hanging out and how much we and kick it with each other. And also didn't expect us to be 21-3. But we're doing well. Obviously, there were some games there where we snuck away with some. We definitely could have dropped some, and there was some that we lost that we probably could have figured out and did better. But we're rolling with the punches and we're learning as we're winning, which is a good thing. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, learning as you're losing is not as much fun.
Exactly.
And just like the team is rolling, I think we're starting to get on a roll here. The reception for the Dwight Howard episode, Kendrick Perkins episode is pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're finally starting to get to feel like it's home a little bit.
Yeah, man, we get a couple some really good special guests.
Oh, I was talking about the set.
Oh, okay, yeah, the set. Yeah, the set's nice too. We added some additions to the set.
The bow and arrow was a pretty nice touch.
From the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, you got the little poster from last year's championship
Yeah, we got the
celebration.
little parade and stuff. Yeah, the parade with the smoke.
Now,
dope stuff.
And these are mandatory to stay here now.
Are they?
I would think so.
I would say for the year.
Oh, yes,
we'll keep them for the year.
What's the story behind these Nipsey Hussle Pumas?
Obviously, Puma does a great job of, by far, my best sponsor I've had in my career ever. Don't get me wrong, all my other partnerships and sponsorship deals have been great, but obviously, Puma was one of the first ones to kind of believe in, start a movement of their own type thing and get back into the industry. And they have a collab with a guy that does custom stuff, and each year we always try to do something, I guess, give some recognition to certain people, certain groups, certain aspects, certain things, certain achievements, and obviously, keep the memory alive of somebody that was on the team, the Puma team, and also he's a Rock Nation member as well. So, any chance I can to try to, do something to help with that, I'm gonna do it. Obviously, he's respected. Obviously in LA, he's a legend all over the world, but especially in California. So yeah, somebody put together a nice little custom shoe for us, and I wore them one game. And now they're here. Behind the scenes, we're trying to do something special with his charity and try to make something work. So that's more important than anything else.
So speaking of Nipsey Hussle, if you remember, we did our live show in Charlotte, and he was going to be our guest.
Yes.
And not too shortly
supposed
after.
to.
Yeah.
And then yes, only a couple months later, it was crazy how quick the turnaround was. But just it goes to show you what type of person he was. The guy, I didn't know him. I never met him before, but he was willing to come on our show and then just do it for the love. So, for a guy to be that humble or that open and that, I guess show so much love to people just all around him, even people you don't even know, he deserves to be honored, and he definitely is a legend.
Speaking of live shows, as you can see, more of our set behind me here. Yeah. It's that picture of us and Norman Powell.
At the live show.
At a live show we did in Toronto. And I am very excited that we are having our first LA live show at El Rey Theater, December 23rd. Doors open at 7.
Looking forward
Show
to it.
starts at 8. DJ Night Train on the 1s and 2s.
You got all the details.
I got all the details.
Man.
And a portion of the proceeds will go towards Between the Lines, which is even cooler.
Ah.
Did you know about that?
I did not know about that. Okay. You hooked up with Tori and Darren. Okay,
yes.
Between the Lines.
For those who don't know, Between the Lines is a nonprofit organization that helps with using the sport of basketball to help prison inmate rehabilitation.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. I like that. I love the idea that the sport of basketball obviously has done a lot for you. It's done a lot for me. Using that sport to help the prison community, so as they try to get back into regular world, quote unquote. Very happy that we were able to contribute
For
to that
sure,
cause.
it's a universal language, man, and it goes just beyond just kids, children in other countries, but in people who are underprivileged and people who are in tough situations. The platform is amazing at what it can do and how it can bring people together and also help rehabilitate people in certain situations. So I think it's a special thing, and I'm glad that we got this thing going, hooked it up, and got it between the lines. Is a dope movement and something I definitely want to be a part of and somehow grasp and get into at some point when necessary, when I have the time, when I can, because obviously a lot of our family, people, members, community are those before they reach the age of 25 usually somehow, some way get incarcerated or don't make it to see 25. So we're very blessed to be in our 30s and still living and doing well. But a lot of those guys don't even know from their backgrounds, what real life or real world is, or they've been in there at a very young age.
They don't know what it is.
Exactly. So they don't know how to interact with the world now. So basketball is a way to help help them adjust and also keep up with the times of what's going on outside the facilities or whatever you want to call it.
Before we go to our interview with Alex Caruso, how was the moment, or describe the moment? I think you were coming back from, was it a win over Denver? I think it was. Maybe I'm wrong. You correct me.
Okay.
Coming back from a big game that you guys won, which you've won a lot. You go on Twitter, and one of the first things you see is your brother with a top 10 SportsCenter highlight with an NBA star, Victor Oladipo, cheering him on.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Devontae Green, we've referenced him before in the show, playing at Indiana. Tell us how it felt.
I think it was Denver. You're actually pretty good on that because the day that I shot terribly, he shot very well.
There you go. Somebody had to do it.
Somebody in the family had to shoot well. He had a great game. They played Florida State. I think they were ranked. Florida State was ranked. They're not, and they beat Florida State. And he had a really good game off the bench. And he's been playing a lot more consistent and better, matured as a player. So hopefully he just got back healthy. Hopefully he get back into the starting lineup. Coach will trust him more. But he's doing great, man. And I was very proud to see that he's having fun out there and he's not frustrated as much as he was the past years. And he's playing free, not thinking about it as much. And said he's just naturally matured and gotten better. And hopefully he can continue to stay consistent and bring that and give himself a chance at the next level.
You got a shout out for your brother?
Yeah, big shout out, Chef Boyard.
Chef Boyard Green.
That's his Instagram tag. Devontae Green.
I know since you got your shout out to your brother, I'm just gonna say hi to mine.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Hi Hamilton. Hi Hastings.
Yeah,
All right, we'll be right back.
The president names.
The three presidents. Triple H. You like it? You're kind of jealous, aren't you?
I've been meaning to have this talk with your parents. Not just about those names, but your middle name, and especially your middle name. Something needs to change.
For those who don't know, my middle name is Duke. Danny went to UNC.
Needs to change it. Yeah, needs to change it.
Beautiful, beautiful pairing we have here. We'll be back with more Inside the Green Room with Alex Caruso. It gets even better. See you guys.
Coming up next on Inside the Green Room.
The day that the dude who painted it put it on Instagram, I woke up, we had a game that day, I woke up from my nap at like 2 and I saw an Instagram tag and people tag, they tag you in all kinds of stuff. Clicked on it, looked at it, and I thought it was fake. I thought it was a joke, bro. There's many fake pictures and memes of me that go around. I was like, all right, it's just another one in there. And
welcome back Inside the Green Room. My man Alex Caruso on the show. Of course, Harry.
I'm glad you haven't started calling me by my nickname.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that to give people the goods just yet.
Okay, thank you.
But welcome to the show, big dog. I appreciate you coming out, man.
Thanks for
a little hand, yeah. I know you wanted a breakdown to that.
Yeah, I need a breakdown.
It's a little bit more. It's better when we're standing up.
Well, go ahead.
We don't have to do all that. We don't have to do all that.
Save the legs.
People get the idea, but
can I get a breakdown?
Yeah. Well, basically, we're the two drug-tested guys.
Yeah.
And
you're surprised, random.
Yeah, we're the random. So we get the HGH a little.
Can I, one more time. Just for the fans, not for me. Can you do a slow motion?
We'll do a slow motion. There's one. This is a hug. 2 times.
Double tap.
Flick the needle. Here you go. The HGH for the game. Right before the game, you gotta get the juices flowing.
Creative juices flowing, man. Why do you think we got so many highlights this week?
So, once again, back to the show. Thanks for coming on, AC, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I was interestingly watching a segment on TV. I think I was in Yard House, maybe eating dinner, and they had like our Lakers documentary, and they showed your part, and they had the mural. Where's that at in the city?
It's up in Melrose.
Okay.
It's like one.
It's pretty dope. Do you know? Did you know they were doing it when they put it up? Or
no, I didn't. The day that the dude who painted it put it on Instagram, I woke up. We had a game that day. I woke up from my nap at like 2, and I like saw an Instagram tag, and like people tag. They tag you in all kinds of stuff. Clicked on it, looked at it, and I thought it was fake. Like I thought it was a joke. As many fake pictures and memes of me that go around, I was like, all right, it's just another one in there. And then somebody else tagged me in it, and somebody like reposted. I was like, oh, but that's real. I was like, oh, that's dope. It's like a big spread.
It is dope, man. They got you above everybody too. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. You're a long ways away from a mural, apparently.
True.
I got to connect with the guy. I gave him some tickets to a game to show some appreciation for that.
When you dunk the ball, you get murals. I got one, and I still haven't recognized for anything else but that one. People say, oh, that dunk like the other day. It was like weeks ago. It's a hell of a dunk. I'm like, we had a game today. I played. I did other things.
You don't remember the rebounds?
So when you dunk the ball, man, they remember that. They remember nothing else. But yeah, you get a mural. So hopefully, if I get maybe one more.
Couple of them. I think 3 is the minimum for a mural.
Yeah.
Can I go back to the handshake real quick?
Go ahead, man. Do you think?
So when you guys were in Denver,
yes,
did you have the flu? Were you sick?
I didn't have the. I was a little sick. I was a little under the weather. I didn't have the full-on flu. AD had it probably worse than anybody. Then I think next up might have been Kuz, me and KCP.
You still doing handshakes when you're sick?
Not as much then, no.
Yeah.
But at that point,
there's a lot more fist bumps.
Yeah.
And, a lot more.
But at that point, damn near everybody had it, so it was too late. I mean,
everybody's contagious.
It was like, oh, if you got it, you got it.
Yeah.
But
okay. So, Alex, obviously, we're going to ask you a ton of questions about your time with the Lakers. I know you have questions for Danny as we look at our updated set here. But going back to the question that Danny asked about the mural, how do you feel about all the attention that you've gotten for your success so far in the league?
Yeah.
And it's been good, obviously, but then because of that, you also have been getting backlash.
Yeah, for sure.
Because some people feel like the media's gone.
There's always give and take with it. I know what you mean. I mean, for me, I'm such a simple person in general. I think that's why me and Danny get along. We're real low-key guys, I feel like. So, like, the social media stuff is what it is. It's just kind of crazy within itself. No matter if I like it, don't like it, indifferent, it's just people on Instagram and Twitter have minds of their own. The backlash thing, I know I've started to see people are getting like upset. I really think it's just like the fact that we're winning games. I think it's just some people sipping the Haterade.
That's different for you now.
Yeah, like, for sure.
Being on that side of the spectrum where like we're gonna get the best shot every night, the team that's targeted, and obviously you've always been under a microscope, but when you're winning, there's a lot more hate that comes with it.
They waiting for you to slip up.
So there was last year and the year before, previous years, it wasn't like that as much.
No, not at all. Just because expectations were different, right? Like this year, we got a much more veteran team. Obviously, LeBron and AD are who they are, and then we have the supporting cast around them. So expectations are get to the playoffs, make a run at the chip. And the last couple years, it was been like, all right, rebuild, make the playoffs, and like see where we can go. So I think just from a starting point of expectations, it's been different. And then for me, I mean, nothing's really changed. I just keep trying to improve and just play hard. And I think that goes a long way with how much the last decade has been a struggle for Lakers fans. Like there hasn't been a ton of success in the middle part of this decade. So I think them just having some fresh legs, somebody running around, playing hard is something that they appreciate.
Yeah, I'm sure that everybody's appreciated the dunks that you've had so far. And Danny, obviously, you mentioned it, the drug test.
Yes.
after the dunk.
Yes.
Can you take us through that process?
Of the drug test?
No, well, please don't.
Okay,
But,
so what do you-
but tell me the story behind it.
Behind.
Yes. Yeah.
What part? The dunk or the drug?
Well, no, I don't care about the dunk.
Okay.
But like
of course
when you got
don't care.
approached.
So it's not even 24 hours later.
The next
We
day.
had the game the next day. I guess practice, film, whatever it is. They come to you. You're on the list today for being drug tested. Mind you, this is my first time being drug tested in this facility, so I don't know where it's at. And wait, was this one? This one was pee. So I think it was pee, urine and blood. Sometimes it goes either or.
Yeah.
I think this one might have been the urine one. There was one where I was there for a couple of hours because I forgot about it, and I had used the bathroom before I went back. And they were like, "Oh, before you leave,
That's the worst.
you got to do your drug test." I'm like, "Wait, why didn't y'all come or tell me right after?" I already showered, changed, did everything, and I'm ready to leave, and I don't have to use the bathroom for a while, so I'm drinking water, just waiting. But yeah, usually they come up to you before practice. Usually before they do it now, an hour and a half before they show up. So it was after practice, or right when practice is about to end. They're supposed to come when practice ends. It's a weird process now.
Yeah, the rules behind it are so weird too.
Yeah.
Like they got strict guidelines.
So it's like timing is strict now. They let you know, and it's like an hour before practice ends. Or they show up an hour and a half before practice ends, or something like that. So usually they tell you early
you
on.
can't leave until they get
Yeah, you can't leave the building.
either your blood or your urine.
Coming up next on Inside the Green Room.
Imagine going on the break, you're running a 3-on-2, and you got Anthony Davis on one wing and LeBron on the other one.
It had a lot of decisions. And if you mess it up, it's
Yeah. All you gotta do is just throw it up.
just throw it up. So I was like,
pick one.
Ron, AD, I was like, I could have went through it myself, but I just threw it. AD, safe. They're both safe.
Save the knees.
So now, Danny, we've talked about your dunks, Alex's dunks.
Not many. One
Not
my
many,
one
yeah.
dunk.
You want?
I'm waiting for you to throw Alex a lob.
I'm waiting for Alex to throw me a
Man,
lob.
no, I've been trying to get some on the break with Rhonda the last couple of games too. I've been
Yeah.
running hard in transition, but people are starting to get back.
Teams are running, man. Teams are running back with us. They know we're pretty good in transition, but teams are running, and that's the good thing. That's what opens up the floor for AD. and Bron.
You had a play in Portland where you could have dunked it, you could have lobbed it to Bron, you could have lobbed
I
it
had
to
so
AD.
many options.
Imagine going on the break, you're running a 3-on-2, and you got Anthony Davis on one wing and LeBron on the other one.
It had a lot of decisions, and if you mess it up, it's
All you gotta do is just throw it up.
just
one
throw
of
it
them.
up. So I
Just
was like,
pick one.
Bron, AD. I was like, I could have went through it myself, but I just threw it. AD, safe. They're both safe.
Save the knees.
But
You guys, yeah, I mean, you guys are both running the lane for LeBron and AD. I'm sure when LeBron makes a special pass, you feel like a little pressure, like, I gotta finish this play. Because he threw it behind the back.
Yo, people talk about that all the time. I mean, the one I'm thinking of that you have to make is the one he threw to you early in the year. He
Behind
threw
his
that
head,
behind his
yeah.
head from like the opposite block. That's the one you gotta make.
you got to make sure,
Yeah.
take your time. This better go in.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you ruin the whole highlight.
Bron ever say anything after?
No, he's never been.
There has
at least
been-
with me.
There was one that went viral recently.
Oh, you're talking about the fast break one.
Yes, there was a fast break. He dove on the floor, and Doe was right next to him, and he could have flipped it to Doe, but he saw me running, and I was running the 3-point line. I don't really run for twos. Mind you, he
Tip
tried to
dunking
throw
threes.
it, and it got tipped. I think Luka tipped it, and then DeLon. It was like a bunch of people in between. And I guess from his point of view, I could have got to the ball, or I could have got a layup if I ran harder. But that ball was nowhere near me. It wouldn't have got to me either.
Yeah,
and I said, I
there
don't
was
run
no
for
chance
twos.
he was getting there.
But after that play, he was gassed. But he made a hell of a dive on the floor, and was expecting me to get your in gear, basically. Could have had a layup, And I was like, Brian, that pass was my bad, but I couldn't have
Constructive
got that.
criticism.
There's no way
Yeah.
I was gonna get that pass, bro. But yeah.
Alex, you mentioned the expectations that the team has so far. Danny, I'm curious. You know what Alex played, what was that? Against the Timberwolves, it was game 83?
Yeah.
You know that's only 83 games into his career so far.
We've only played in 83 NBA games.
I did not know that. So this is year what for you?
This is out of college. This is year 4.
Okay,
Year 3 of NBA experience.
Okay, and your first was a two-way deal.
First year I was Exhibit 10.
Okay.
Full year in the G League. D-League at the time.
Tell the people about your D-League experience.
Man, it was a grind, right? And like when people like you hear that all the time, right? Oh, it's a grind. Like,
For sure.
yeah,
so coming out of college, let's go back to that. Coming out of college, how did the process go? Your expectations?
Coming out of college,
entering the draft.
Whole bunch of pre-draft workouts. Didn't get drafted. So in summer league with Philly, didn't play a whole lot. And then there was like a week span in August where I thought I was gonna go play in Poland. I thought I was gonna play in Germany, and then I thought I was. That's when Oklahoma City called and was like, "We got this spot on our G League team, Exhibit 10. You want to come do that?" And that was like, like the butterfly effect of like decisions in your life and like paths. That was like, I mean, looking at it now, I'm really glad that I ended up making the decision to stay.
And not going to Poland.
Yeah, not going to play in some Euro Cup team in Germany that you've never heard of. But yeah, so then into the G League, right? So I got lucky. The two organizations I played with in the G League were South Bay with Los Angeles, and then the Oklahoma City Blue, which is the Thunder's G League team. And they both have like amazing setups as far as facilities go. Like the Thunder's old facility is the G League's home base. So you got a full court, 2 baskets on the side, cold tub, hot tub, food in the morning.
Top notch.
Yeah, it was the best. Like the housing was nice. It was the best setup any G League that I've heard about or talked to my people in my fellow G League.
My D-League days were very different. We didn't have any of that stuff. We had to walk to the gas station for our own ice. We had to share a car and pretty much you have to bring our own tight shoes, everything. We had to.
You take bus trips?
Yep.
So
2 and 3 flights, shared hotel rooms, shared apartments.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a
that,
real
the
grind.
commercial flights, so you're going through security.
And it was only like 9 cities
layovers. Yeah,
at that time. So
and they're not cities that are easily accessible either.
North Dakota, South Dakota, and you stay there for 2 games and then go.
Sioux Falls and Rio Grande Valley, 2 places you've never heard of that you probably will never go to, but they're G League homes.
Well, now that you guys have had this, G League experience, you've been able to dream big, vision big, won a chip. Alex, I'm sure you see that picture behind me from the parade. Have you started envisioning what it would be like to go from the D-League, G League, now to potentially winning a title for the Lakers?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I'm sure any player who hasn't won it yet has had visions or had dreams or visualized what it'd be like to be Danny on the bus with the smoke and the big hair and celebrating.
Little parade. The
yeah,
parade
which is, I mean, for me that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to win. DG, I want you to tell me what it's like to get it done, right? Because you've been there, you've done it a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our different roads, and yours is very a unique one for sure. And coming from you appreciate it that much more. Just even being here now, you appreciate everything.
100%.
In the league and just the process, and obviously coming from an organization when you started, it wasn't winning as much. Now you're winning. It's like, man, but be able to be the last team standing, hold the trophy up, and being a part of that or being a big piece, because every piece counts. Everybody likes to have their criticism, say, oh, you didn't really. Everybody's a factor on a championship team, whether it's from the first star to superstar to the last guy on the bench, because those guys had a role. Even Jeremy Lin, I think last year felt like he didn't have a big role. Those guys are a big key of pushing the guys in front of them or giving us help throughout the playoffs, throughout the season, even in practice, making sure we're on top of ourselves, scouting reports. And obviously as a player, a guy that's playing minutes, every piece is very important. So to be a part of that and, to say I come from, the G League or the D League or come from undrafted, and now I've done something some of the Hall of Famers have never done before,
I think about that. I think about that a lot.
Pop your chest, baby.
I think about that a lot. Like
it's like, Chuck is on TV. He doesn't have a lot of guys don't have rings. It's crazy. A lot of guys never get there. So I'm lucky. I'm blessed. But it's a feeling and an emotion and an experience that is hard to explain in words, and you'll have to feel it for yourself. But it's something you'll never forget, and you'll always remember and be remembered for.
I've thought about that. I don't know what emotion would go through me as like the clock hits 0 and you realize you just won. Like, I don't know if I would just be like, obviously you're like hype, but like at the same time, I think I would go through all those memories of like stuff that I've been through, like
For sure.
road trips to RGV.
The summertime is when you kind of start reflecting when you're on vacation, probably with your family, your girlfriend or whatever. But the best way I describe it is like when the buzzer hits 0, it's just like, all right, I can retire now. Like I'm done.
You just feel like
I did what I needed to do in this world. You know, I can die a happy man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to do anything else.
Peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming up next on Inside the Green Room.
And I feel like for our team, like we have such a close, tight-knit group of guys, and it's all everybody's just true to themselves. And I feel like that makes it really easy to go out and play basketball at the end of the day, because you're not thinking about what he said to somebody else on the team a week ago. Like, there's no rift.
Now you guys are envisioning winning a championship again.
Yeah.
Wondering, did you get anything from the David Blaine Genius Talks or the Dave Chappelle Genius Talks
for sure.
that you're going to apply to hopefully a championship run?
I think one of the things for me was well, first of all, David Blaine is insane.
Yes.
Just for starters, right? Like,
He's not really a magician to me. He's more of like an experimental guy.
I don't even know the right
Mind you,
word
he's very
for
good
it.
at magic with cards, but he does stuff outside of magic that makes him just more of like an
He pushes,
experiment
like, the
of
human,
body. Yeah.
like, existence.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the only way to put it. Like, he's like talked about his stunts where he like lived in a box for a month over like hanging over the London Bridge or wherever it was, and he didn't do anything, just sat in the box. And
Being frozen.
like
It's like when you're thinking about going for a dunk, you don't think about David Blaine.
no, the stuff that they're bringing us is a little more personal related stuff. Like the Dave Chappelle one, the one he talked about was just the political climate and everything that we're in right now, with like how people just take your words and can twist them into something different. And the thing I took from him was just like being yourself and being true. Like he talked about trying to be like yes men almost, to where it's like you put on a face for this person and be a different person in this scenario. And at the end of the day, you just be yourself, and at the end of the day, that should be good enough, right? And I feel like for our team, like we have such a close, tight-knit group of guys, and it's all everybody's just true to themselves. And I feel like that makes it really easy to go out and play basketball at the end of the day, because you're not thinking about what he said to somebody else on the team a week ago. Like, there's no rift. We're just out there having fun.
I take away from everybody. I learn a lot about those guys, not just their past, but just the stuff they've been through, their minds now. You can tell Dave Chappelle's been through a lot. You know, just the way he talks and how he sees life, and how he's like, you know what, my neighbor came to me, and people approach him some way in a negative way, but he'll flip it, like, you know what, I'm gonna try to help this guy because he obviously has a problem or something like that. But with David Blaine, I said he's more of an experimenter. And what I took from him is just the endurance, the mental, and just not just physical, but mental and physical endurance that he had to take, or he had to, just the pound, like just the stuff that he put on his body that he didn't need to, but just to be mentally strong, to be able to, he swallowed a frog, he swallowed a couple frogs, without even like, he just mentally make himself throw up or swallow something, and bring, the things that he was doing is unbelievable. And it just shows you how much you can really achieve when you put your mind to it, and you can put your body through it. The human mind and body is unbelievable.
That's the thing with him. I think it's just like mental fortitude, and like people talk about that all the time. It's like, if something hurts, you're gonna shy away from it, or you're gonna like not want to do it. I feel like he's the type of dude that would like take it head on. And it's like, all right, let's see how much of this I can take.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I don't like that, I'm not gonna do it. He like embraces it.
He's the ultimate face your fears type of guy, and he said he was feared of insects or something like that, of spiders.
What do you
do?
He
started to learn how they were really his friends, like when some random experience that he had. So everything that he looks at as a fear, he's like, I'm gonna find out a way to understand it so that I'm not afraid of it anymore and scared of it.
So what I'm hearing, Alex, is so if you have, the mental fortitude, the mental will, if you want to get 40 dunks in a season, you could do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could. There is.
If you put your mind to it.
Yeah. There is a case by case.
I'm not
basis.
challenging anybody on this set at all.
If I wanted to,
I'm sure one of us.
I think I have. I mean, I got
I'm
a good
not worried
start
about.
right now.
I'm not worried about you. I'm talking about the guy to the left. Put your mind to
So
it. We
if
get
you
40
put your
dunks
mind-
off.
Yes, you could. And it's a possibility, a very strong possibility. But the bigger picture here, that's not the goal for me.
You
The goal
know?
for me
Yeah, yeah.
is
We're not
being
chasing-
fresh at the end of the season.
We're not chasing
and winning.
accolades. We're trying to win games,
You
right?
know, I'll save those for playoff times. When we need momentum swingers, that's when they're more appreciated too.
Okay.
You know, so. But if you do want to make the challenge,
I can challenge you
I'm
here?
up for receiving all.
I'll let Alex.
But with challenges, you gotta cough up something out the pockets though too.
Yikes.
Let's come
Yeah,
up with
what's up?
this.
I know what you want.
So you started talking money. I was like,
Set the bar high now.
Yeah.
Talking about 50 dunks?
We'll circle back
We're
on
already
that.
a third of the way through. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be like one a game, but we can get there.
Okay, we'll circle back on that. An idea actually that the NBA was circling about. I want to get your guys' opinion on this: the midseason tournament and the reseeding of the conference finals. I guess since the ratings for national TV games hasn't been as high, that's one of their solutions potentially. What do you guys think about potentially having the conference finals reshuffled and then some midseason tournament where I believe one of the suggested rewards would be an extra draft pick?
Ooh.
I don't know about the
draft
tournaments.
pick.
Yeah, I don't think you would care about the draft pick, you personally, or you. Like, that's just entering more competition, I would think.
I don't mind the shuffle of,
Conference finals?
or change up the playoff format a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to play good teams.
Yeah.
You know, and like to be honest, most of the time, the matchups in the playoffs, like the best team's gonna win.
Yes.
No matter who you got to play to get there.
True.
Like the best team, the cream rises to the top, right?
For
That's
sure.
Like the old
But
saying.
sometimes the better teams play each other earlier in
That's
the
true.
rounds than
That's
they
true.
should.
I'm gonna say it right now.
And I think that's why I don't mind the shuffle.
Yeah, because as a fan, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd rather see
That was like the
you
Warriors
guys play the
Rockets like
Clippers
2 years ago.
Yeah, and I'd rather see you guys play the Clippers in the NBA Finals and not the Western Conference Finals.
That's another thing. I said I don't mind because there has been some years where West was stronger than East. East had been stronger than West. Like it was different balance of powers and in that sense. So the shuffle cool, but the mid-season tournaments I don't.
Yeah,
know
that's
about.
interesting, man. That would, because that's like the soccer model, right? The Champions League and the domestic cup tournaments that they have, but those teams have so many more players on their teams, right? Like they don't play, like they can shuffle in and out a bunch of different guys. Like basketball, you don't get to play only 8 and the rest of the guys don't play and then you sub a couple in. Like you're playing 8, 9, 10 on a given night and it's minutes. I don't know. I think that would be,
It'd be
I think
tough.
that would be really
Most
hard.
rotations aren't that deep, especially playoff time. It's probably about 11 deep. At most teams usually go maybe 10, 11 deep.
you know, if they want people to take it serious, you know what they do? Don't put a draft pick in there. Put a money pot.
Coming up next on Inside the Green Room in Staples Center, they're there all the time. It's like, all right, what's up?
They'll just be like, oh, they're Snoop again.
Hey, Denzel, what's up, man? Cool.
Yeah.
You want some
Everything
popcorn?
good? Yeah.
Need a drink? I mean, everybody's just chilling courtside all the time. Then they blend in. Like Will Ferrell's there. I'm like, oh, Will Ferrell.
Yeah, you
even
don't even
notice.
notice. He just chills on the
chilling,
baseline
real
right by
quiet.
the bench.
He looks like a grandpa.
Another team that I assume you guys would be competitive with, and kind of referenced this earlier. What do you guys? You have to be watching the Clippers. What are your evaluations?
Some days.
Yeah,
Okay.
we watch
When you-
basketball. We watch whoever's
Yes,
on.
yes.
And I think
There's a groundswell in the
for
market.
sure. Obviously,
You guys
they're
versus
in
the
our
Clippers.
conference. They're on our coast, and they're close by, and they're the top team in the West. So we pay attention to when they win, lose, how they win, lose. We also pay attention to how Milwaukee wins, lose. They're a
Denver.
good team. Denver, Boston,
Houston, everybody. Yeah.
all the teams that are top, that are close
Stop
to
with
us.
the
we're home.
nonsense, please. Can you please?
No, see, this is the thing.
This is the
That's-
truth.
That's
Talk about the
honest.
Clippers.
That's
We'll
honest.
talk about the truth, but that's the truth. We
That's
look
honest.
at, Denver just dropped 2. Okay, we got a little breathing
If we
room.
focus on them so much, it's gonna take us off of our.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
What if they're?
We can't control
Obviously, they're a
what they
great
do.
team, and we assume that they're going to be, at the end of the season, they're going to be one of the great teams that we'll have to face in the playoffs. But you have to be prepared for everybody, not just
Gotta
them.
play 78 other games.
You don't know who's going to be healthy or not for them. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what kind of mix-up may happen. But yes, we do watch them. They are good. we haven't watched the games that they lost and say, oh, how did they guard them? How did they play them? I'm sure when we play them on Christmas, the day or two before, after we have played Orlando, Miami, Indiana, Milwaukee, Atlanta, all those teams, because we're focused on them first, then we'll look at, oh, Clippers lost to so-and-so this way. Let's see how they guarded them. We'll probably guard them that way.
This is how I know he's a vet, because I'm trying to bait him to say
Trying
something.
to get the drama, bro. It's all good.
Answer.
You need that. You need that for TV. Go ahead, get your question, your
right.
drama question.
The back door.
Okay, another team, the Bucks.
Yes.
Can we talk about what you've seen from Giannis this year as an MVP candidate? I know you guys are going to talk about AD and LeBron. But what have you seen from the Bucks so far that's been impressive? Since I assume you watch the Bucks.
We do. We watch everybody. Watch basketball. I'm gonna let AC
I
answer.
watch
He's
a
our
little
guest.
10-minute YouTube extended highlights just about every night of all the games. That's usually what I get.
I usually check the box scores and say, oh, so-and-so played well, so-and-so. I might catch a couple clips on the internet, but I haven't had a chance to watch.
You look at every box score?
When I go home, I try to look at most of them. I'll look at my brother's games, box score, see what he did, and I'll look at the box scores of the NBA that night of who played, who won, oh, so-and-so, and then see what the stats are, who shot well, who didn't do well. We'll check it out. But a lot of times, when I'm home, I don't like to watch basketball on TV. Like,
You get so much of it, it's overkill.
yes.
You know?
When I was younger, yes. The first couple years,
Yeah, I
watched
still
basketball.
watch games. I
Yeah,
still
okay,
watch
thank
games.
you.
But
Normal person.
It's normal for me.
He's got- yeah, he
year
got
10,
many
11,
years
probably
of-
watch, yeah.
I'm gonna watch
82
PBS,
a year games.
You know, I'm gonna watch Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm gonna watch TV series like regular shows. I don't want to be burnt out by basketball by the end of the season.
He doesn't watch too much TV from what I understand.
Nah, man, I'm not good with TV shows. The Office is one of the only TV shows I've watched all the way through.
Year 3 or 4, I wasn't big on it either, but I was sports, basketball. I was locked in. But after a while, I got probably more into TV series after like year 5 or 6. That's when I started Breaking Bad. From then on, I never
finished
looked.
Breaking Bad.
You never finished it?
I'm notorious for not finishing TV series.
I never looked back.
Why?
Didn't finish that. Didn't finish Better Call Saul. Didn't finish Stranger Things. Man, it's like a attention span thing for me. It's like an attention span thing. I told you I like movies. Like I like just give me everything you got, and then let's keep.
When
it
you get
moving.
older, you get more patient. You're like, you know what?
That's probably what it is. You know?
Once I watched Breaking Bad, I was like, I started going to TV series. I never looked back. I just went to a bunch of.
I liked it. It wasn't like I didn't like
Game
it.
of Thrones,
Okay.
everything. So
We got to get ready to go.
back to the Bucks, though, right? You want to give me my impression of the Bucks?
No,
Gotta
I really
give you-
don't. I really don't, because you're going to give me a bland answer.
No,
to be
I'm gonna
honest
let
with you.
Alex give you his impression of the Bucks.
Give me something spicy.
I'm gonna let him give you something spicy.
He did already. He talked about the
Okay.
Bucks.
I think they're very good.
You see? This is why.
And I'm gonna tell you.
Truth.
So I was impressed with what they're doing. They had a 10-game win streak. Now they have a 14-game win streak. But obviously, some of the teams that they played, and you know, every team is good, and you're very capable of losing. But the impressive part was that they did play Clippers recently, and they played them very well. I didn't get a chance to see the game and how they played them, but they played them very well. Obviously, Clippers looked like they had a tough night shooting that night. But that was an impressive win for them, and that kind of put them, like, I think, around the league, around the world, like, yo, this is a top team, not just in the East, but a top team in the league that you need to be worried about.
Okay. Do you have
Was
anything
that
on the
spicy
Bucks?
enough?
It wasn't spicy,
Okay.
but it was sufficient.
Bucks are playing really well right now.
Yeah. A little spice.
I'm going to move on to the mailbag with a little.
Go ahead.
Obviously, if you guys have any questions in regards to, you'd like to get to Danny or whoever might be our guest, send them in to insidedgreenroom@gmail.com. You talked about attention spans, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some memes that go around that reference one courtside guest at Staples Center.
I think I know the one you're talking
And I
about.
wonder how your attention span handles that when you see somebody like, let's say, Rihanna
Yeah, she was at the
at
game.
Staples Center.
You know, it's a lot easier now, but like, cause I've been here for 2 years, right? So you've seen, even when we weren't winning games the last 2 seasons, people show up.
Yeah,
Like it
that's
doesn't
the
matter.
crazy-
It's still LA and it's still the Lakers, and they're there courtside. The first real instance of like a celebrity kind of interaction I had was one of my first games getting called up on the two-way, and it's halftime, right? I'm not playing any minutes yet, so I'm coming out early in halftime getting shots up, and one of the ball rolls behind me to the far side, and this guy like bends over, and I'm like waiting for him to throw it to me. It'll come George Lopez. I'm like, what's up, man? Throws me a nice chest pass. I just keep shooting. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool, man. But I mean, it's the Rihanna meme was funny. I didn't see it till obviously after the game, but that kind of kicked off this year's.
And that's new for me. You know, I've been in the league 10 years, and he's used to it. It's not something I feel like you can ever get. I'm not used to it, but I mean, you're starting to like I understand it, and it's like, all right. But it's still, for me, I feel like I was in San Antonio for a while. You don't see those people every game.
Yeah.
Even in Toronto, like, you don't see people like that every game.
Even our San Antonio game this year, Snoop Dogg showed up, and it was like they gave him a jersey, they put him on the big screen. It was like a whole ordeal.
Oh, yeah, just in San Antonio, any star shows up, it's a big thing there. And Staples Center, they're there all the time. It's like, all right, what's up?
They were just like, oh, there's Snoop again.
Hey, Denzel, what's up, man? You cool? You want some popcorn?
Good? Yeah.
You need a drink? I mean, everybody's just chilling courtside all the time. And they blend in. Like, Will Ferrell's there. I'm like, oh, Will Ferrell.
Yeah, you
even
don't
notice.
notice.
Like,
He just chills on the
chilling,
baseline
real
right by our
quiet.
bench.
It's like, come on, he looks like a grandpa. I think he's like I don't know if it's his son or his grandson. I'm just like, yeah, come on. Got his bland little face on. It's hilarious. This dude's comedy.
Since Alex has been here for a while, maybe you could tell Danny some of your favorite places to eat.
Yeah. Well, it depends what part of town we're talking, right? So, like, I live down here in South Bay. The Kettle was, like, the first spot that I ever went to. It's 24/7 breakfast.
You learned
lunch,
that quickly.
dinner.
Like the late night spots.
It's the only place open. So, like, you get done with a game, say 7 o'clock game, you get done at 10, 10:30, you drive back 20 minutes, 10:45, almost 11. Everything's closed. Kettle's open.
You're giving away secrets now.
That's one of the
You're gonna have
first
a little
spots.
Alex Caruso fan club showing up at the Kettle.
Yeah, I got my go-tos there too.
Okay.
The bacon cheddar avocado omelet, and then the blackened chicken rigatoni is fire.
Okay.
I found the Kettle early. I would live in this area too, so I found the Kettle pretty quickly.
I found out what Danny's favorite spot is though, because
I have a favorite spot already. Let's see what you got.
I've never heard a man
before he did.
leave a function, a club, a party, and talk about getting donuts.
Talking about Randy's? Yeah, Randy's.
We were in the middle of a party.
Randy's
The music is blasting. He's like, "Yo, telling you, bro, we're gonna get these Randy's donuts after the function." I'm like, "Okay."
It was late night,
They're legit.
and we were obviously leaving the club, so it's like not much open food-wise anyway, and people want a snack, and everybody else, everybody's been drinking and stuff. I'm like, yo, we need to pick up. First of all, I was craving donuts. I'm like, we don't have any cookies, snacks. I'm like, we need to get. I can't go grocery shopping right now. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Randy's.
Yeah, bro.
And once I got that idea in my head, I'm like, I don't care what kind of.
You know the worst part about it
White
is?
Castle.
I don't even go. I Uber Eats it.
You can Uber Eats those?
Yeah, bro. You can Uber Eats it.
I just But like, I like to
leaving
pick
the house
out
again.
the assortments there. I like to pick out with it, and
That's
they don't
true.
really have all of them there.
What's your favorite one?
I haven't even gotten a chance to try like the Fruity Pebbles one, the Fruit Loops
Fruity
one.
Pebbles is pretty good. Mine is the Oreo one, man.
I haven't got a chance to try that one yet.
Oreo
They got the Red
one.
Velvet. They have so many different ones. I mean, the glaze, of course, classic, hands down. When I tasted one of those, I was like, it's the best donut I ever had. So once you get in that mode of craving the donut, I was on a White Castle, Harold and Kumar type.
No matter what,
I'm going to go get these damn
That's
donuts.
Do you dip it in milk?
No.
funny.
No.
All right. Before we go, in the spirit of holiday giving,
Go ahead. Here you go.
I have something I have to give Danny.
Have to give me. Are we gonna ask him his question though? Since we asked Perk last time. Cereal. When you eat your cereal, how do you eat your cereal?
You get the bowl.
Okay.
You get the cereal.
Yes.
You put the cereal in the bowl.
There you go. Okay.
And then you put the milk on the cereal.
There you go.
Oh, did you try it?
What crazy person
did not try
puts milk in before the cereal?
You promised you
It's just
promised
like,
you were gonna try it.
It's just like
Danny.
I will try it. I
can't.
haven't gotten around to it because it's a natural habit of doing the right way. It's just like I feel like you do it just because like it's like I want to be different. Like when you're doing that, it's
a
like I just want to be
statement.
different. But, you know.
All right, well, yep, going off course. Going off course. Danny, please say goodbye.
Rate, read, write, subscribe, review. Right?
Another episode of Inside the Green Room,
Yes.
where
Make
Danny
sure you
can't
read,
say it
subscribe,
correctly.
rate. Yeah.
Subscribe, rate, review.
There you go. We do that.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Can we
of
get?
course.
I want to get a HGH handshake too at some point.
We'll work something. Well, you gotta get. It's,
You got to get drug tested
yeah,
first
they gotta
for something.
send. You gotta do something.
So
to
you
get
come on the
drug
show,
tested
I
first.
gotta
Jack.
do something to get drug
Yeah,
tested.
come on the show doing something. Either dunk the
some
ball,
pull-ups. Yeah.
come in, look
yeah.
like Mike Bibby or something, and then you know,
That'll get it done.
I'll get it done.
they'll get you done.
All right, bye guys.